in 1971. Thinking he might like to become an electrical engineer, a few semesters of engineering classes persuaded him otherwise, and he went on to launch a journalism career that carried him across the country and eventually back to Oklahoma. Veith attended Oklahoma State University before transferring to the University of Oklahoma, switching majors several times and earning a journalism degree in 1977. During college, he spent more time at the student newspaper than he did in classes. He was editor of the paper in 1976 and built lifetime friendships with fellow students, editors, and reporters. After college, Veith worked as a reporter and editor for a newspaper in Oklahoma, Texas, and California. He spent 16 years in Washington, D.C. Bureau of the Los Angeles Times. As an editor, he directed projects and supervised reporters covering all branches of the federal government. As a reporter, he covered the White House during the George W. Bush administration and wrote stories about national politics and government finance. On the morning of September 11, 2001, he walked several miles to the Pentagon to cover the carnage after terrorists crashed an airliner into the building. In 2003, the Times sent Veith to Iraq to cover reconstruction efforts following the U.S.-led invasion. Veith returned to Oklahoma in 2006 and began teaching journalism at OU, where he launched new classes in investigative reporting, state capitol reporting, and in-depth reporting. He also began working for Oklahoma Watch, a nonprofit organization that produces in-depth investigative journalism on public policy issues. Veith has received more than 24 state and regional reporting awards for his work with Oklahoma Watch. Veith and his wife, Kathy, live in Oklahoma City. They have monthly dinner parties with a small group of KHS alumni and their spouses. Veith's car sports a specialty license plate that says Kingfisher. It's the only one in the state. It is with great honor that we induct Warren Veith into the Kingfisher High School Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Laren. Cassidy, you are a tough act to follow. That was beautiful, but I'll try. I have to confess, I feel a little bit uncomfortable up here today. That's because throughout my high school years, I associated being noticed by teachers and administrators with being in trouble. In fact, I brought something with me here today, and I wondered if anyone in this crowd can recognize what these are. Anybody, who could tell me? Pink slips, also known as pinky, so you got some too, huh? Just as an example, this one says, detention notice. Name, Warren Veith, is assigned to detention study hall for 1 period for being targeted. Warren Veith is assigned to detention study hall for 2 periods for leaving school without permission. Here's one of my favorites. Warren Veith is assigned to detention study hall for 2 periods for chewing gum in class after being told to dispose of it. Now, where was I supposed to put it? They never said. Anyway, is Principal Overstreet here? If he is, I hope to talk to him later about the possibility of a full pardon for any past infractions that may still be on the books here. I'd like to acknowledge my wife, Kathy, who's here with me today, and I wanted to mention my good friend, Steve Williams. He was my best friend in high school, junior high, and grade school, and he was killed in the bombing of the Oklahoma City Federal Building in 1995. Hardly a day goes by that I don't think about Steve. I'm not going to spend any time talking about my career. Laren did a great job of summarizing it. I've had an interesting job. I belong to what's now an endangered species, and we're only a step or two away from extinction. They call us journosaurs. We're old reporters who still use a notepad and a thick pen to interview people. And we used to use these ancient mechanical contraptions called typewriters, which if you're ever in a museum, you might see one. But I had a fine job. I had a lot of fun over the years, but there's really nothing I've ever done in my career, my life, that's any more important than what you're going to go out and do in yours. And today's really about you and not about me. I did want to mention one thing. After I came back to Oklahoma, I taught journalism at OU for 8 years. I taught upper level reporting classes, small classes, 15 students. Most of them were either 19, 20, or 21 years old. And I found over time that I could divide it. I got to know all of them very personally because I'd drag them into my office and make them tell me their life stories. And I found over time that roughly a third of them were very certain what they were going to go out and do with their lives. And I always envied those students. Another third of them had made some kind of choice, like journalism. But when I talked to them, I could tell that they weren't absolutely certain that they'd made the right choice. And I sympathized with those. But the remaining third were the students who were, to put it bluntly, pretty much clueless about what they wanted to go out and do, even at the age of 21 or so. And those were the students that I frankly identified with the most. I remember with absolute certainty on my 21st birthday, I still had no idea what it was I was going to go out and do. And it wasn't until later that year that I stumbled into the student newspaper and things started to click. So to all 96 of you, if I have the number right, regardless of what category you're in, whether you're absolutely certain or a little bit uncertain or clueless like I was, don't sweat it. You got lots of time. And somebody famous once said 80% of success is showing up. And, you know, I kind of feel like that's history of my life. I had doubts at many points in time, but I kept showing up, and fortunately none of my employers told me to go away. So whatever you choose to do, good luck. I have complete confidence in you. Thank you for this award. It kind of makes all these pink slips worthwhile.
It's not often that Kingfisher High School gets exchange students, but this year we are blessed to have one from Sweden. Victor Persson began the school year excited to see what high school in the United States was like. Victor fit in with us all immediately, joining the photography club and playing the coveted role of the Tin Man and the drama club's production of The Wizard of Oz. Victor had never seen the movie, but prior to playing the role, but he quickly watched it and did an outstanding job. Dr. Johnson had this to say about Victor. When an exchange student from Scandinavia arrives at your school, speaking as good or better English than most of the students he will join, that is usually a good sign, and it certainly was with Victor Persson. A young man of friendly good humor and clear intelligence, he brought a unique experience to our students, and I think they gave him one in return. From the wilderness of suburban Stockholm, Victor fell in love with rural Kingfisher and Kingfisher High School. A bond of friendship has been forged here that will last, and I don't think we've seen the last of the Golden Swede. At this time, we'd like to present Victor Persson with a Meritorious Achievement Medal and a certificate in appreciation for everything he has added to our student body over the course of this year.
I wasn't really prepared for this. I didn't know this award was coming, so here's a little bit of improvisation for y'all. when I came to Kingfisher, I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't really know what to expect about America. Honestly, I expected to end up on the coast somewhere, but I didn't, and I'm really happy for that. If I'd gone somewhere like California or New York, it would probably have been exactly the same to what I'm used to, and that is not what happened at all. Instead, dirt roads, pickups, and Confederate flags. I freaking love it so much. I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you who made this year great for me, and thank you.
My fellow valedictorians and I have chosen the word passion. Passion is something that each and every one of us have encountered in our own lives. After all, we are all passionate about someone or something, and as it would appear, these passions have led us to where we are today. The first letter in the word passionate stands for peppers. As you all probably know, there are a variety of peppers grown around the world, ranging from spicy ghost peppers, bitter green peppers, banana peppers, and even those sweet red juicy bell peppers. They come in different sizes, colors, and flavors. Class of 2017, as we leave this small town of Kingfisher and go our separate ways, always remember that the world is like a garden full of peppers, full of people. We are all unique and different in our own ways. Each of us has the choice to pick which pepper we want to be, and to leave the lasting flavor with those we encounter through life. We have the opportunity to go out and explore, discover ourselves, and truly become the individuals we were born to be. We can accomplish anything we put our minds to. In closing, class of 2017, ask yourself this: what kind of pepper do you want to be? And what kind of flavor do you want to leave behind? Whether you're a habanero or a jalapeno, don't forget, we've all got a little bit of spice, and a little bit of spice goes a long way. Thank you, class of 2017.
A is for adventure. We are all about to embark on a grand journey, the trip of our lifetime. Travel changes you as you move through this life and this world. We will change things slightly, and in return, we'll be changed ourselves. We will leave marks behind, however small, and in return, life and adventure will leave marks on each of us. Those marks will sometimes hurt, but most of the time, they will be beautiful, and they will come through our hearts. To live an adventure is rare indeed. Unfortunately, most people are happy to just exist. In the words of Mark Twain, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sail, explore, dream, discover.
Howard Schultz, the executive chairman of Starbucks and former owner of the Seattle Supersonics, once said, "When you're surrounded by people who share a passionate commitment around a common purpose, anything is possible." The word my fellow valedictorians and I chose to base our speeches off of was the word passionate, and I was given the first S of the word. First word that came to mind, to start with the letter S for me, was sports. When it comes to our class in sports, our class has always come together and gone above and beyond to achieve what nobody thought was possible. That's because we are all so passionate at everything we do. Our class may not have been the biggest or quickest or most athletic, but you better believe we gave all we had to it. Our class was a part of a state championship winning football team as freshmen, And then we were also part of the only boys state championship basketball team in school history as seniors. Through all the ups and downs that our class went through in sports in high school, we stayed passionate and played with all of our hearts. Fellow classmates, life is going to throw you curveballs and tackle you with obstacles you won't see coming. But don't ever lose the fire and passion to keep striving, to go above and beyond the goals you set for yourself. It's brought me great joy and happiness to go through this journey of high school with you all. I wish nothing but the best for you all as you continue on your journey.
I was given the letter S from the word passionate. After a lot of thinking, I chose to write about the word strength. The definition of strength is the quality or state of being strong. There are a few different ways to look at this word. You can look at character strength, mental strength, moral strength, or even physical strength. Given that I'm about 6'3" and only 145 pounds, I think it's probably best that I don't talk about the physical meaning. When we were strong, we were able to call upon our skills and qualities to help us bear stress. We stay firm in our purpose and clear in our thinking, despite hardships and social pressure. Our strength is not about denying emotions such as grief, sorrow, or despair. It is about doing what it takes to help us move through these situations. Strength is exactly what I've gained from going to school here in Kingfisher. My friends, family, teachers, and coaches have taught me what it means to be strong, whether it's with sports, school, or just life in general, and I can't thank them enough for that. The author Napoleon Hill once said, "Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle." As we all go on our separate paths, we're going to face many struggles and adversities. When these problems come along, just remember to stay firm in your beliefs and that these issues will only make you stronger. Thank you.
My letter is I, and I have chosen the word incomparable to speak about. By definition, to be incomparable is to be without equal in quality or extent. Being incomparable is when you reach a state of such extraordinary uniqueness that you are just beyond compare. Sounds pretty unattainable, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that each and every one of you is incomparable. Each and every one of you add life and joy into each other's lives in your own little way. Each and every one of you are unique and beautiful in your own way. It pains me to see my friends and fellow classmates degrade themselves and lose self-confidence just because they don't look like someone on TV or social media. Sure, flowers are beautiful, but so are sunsets and lights on Christmas trees and dogs and Miss Friday. And you know what? None of these things even look remotely the same, yet we still view them as beautiful. But we all have different tastes as well. Some people aren't dog people and prefer a cat. Some people would rather watch a sunset because they can't stand the scent of flowers. Some people think Miss Friday is awesome, and some people are just confused. The point is that even though some people can't see the beauty in you, that doesn't mean that it isn't in there. Someone out there sees it, and they admire your uniqueness like a gorgeous sunset. They see you as incomparable. We're all guilty of comparing our own lawn to our neighbor's lawn. We sit there and fantasize about our own lawn looking as green as theirs. We shouldn't view their lawn in envy, but rather see it as a goal, as inspiration, or as motivation. We need to stop spending so much time staring at our neighbor's lawn, and instead use that time to work on our own. Maybe your lawn isn't capable of having pretty green grass. That's perfectly fine. Just build a fountain in your yard instead. Make that fountain just as beautiful as you are, and I can guarantee you that your neighbor with the green grass will look over at your lawn and say, "Wow, their grass isn't the greenest, but their fountain is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Their yard is truly incomparable." None of us ever truly comprehend the effect we have on each other's lives, whether it be your smile, your laugh, your determination, your sarcasm, your passion, the way you treat others, your adventurous spirit, or the way your eyes shift from gray to blue. Some aspect of you puts a smile on someone else's face, adds a little fire to their soul, or motivates them to keep going even though they feel like giving up. Each and every one of you adds a little beauty to life that is beyond compare. Each and every one of you are incomparable. Thank you.
My letter is O, my word, optimism. Optimism is a mindset that can come naturally or can be learned. Look on the bright side. The glass is half full rather than half empty. Make lemonade out of lemons. Optimism is the tendency to believe, expect, or hope that things will turn out well. It comes from the Latin word optimus, meaning best, which describes how an optimistic person is always looking for the best in any situation and expecting good things to happen. Optimism is not unrealistically seeing every situation, regardless of its nature, as rosy, but rather seeing the good in the situation and looking for ways to improve it. It's striking a healthy balance between positive and realistic thinking. Anne Frank once said, "How wonderful is it that nobody wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." To all my fellow graduates, embrace this journey with optimism.
Let me begin by welcoming everyone to our celebration of the class of 2017. I'd first like to thank our wonderful administration and staff and everyone involved who helped make this possible every year. I would also like to thank my mom, Lisa, and my dad, Martin, for always encouraging me to be greater and for being the sole reasons why I am here today. The letter that I received from Passionate is the letter N. After careful consideration, I believe that nexus describes our graduating family the best. The dictionary definition of nexus is a series of connections linking two or more groups of things to one another. After today, we will all go our separate ways. Up until we cross this stage, all that most of us have ever known was each other in this town. After this, we will each individually experience life, with all of its heartbreaking, hopeless moments and its amazingly beautiful and unforgettable ones. Even though most of us will hardly, if ever, see each other again, there will always be a nexus shared between us. This nexus was formed through us, together, learning to share our toys, competing against each other on Super Kids Day, fumbling through puberty in middle school, and so much more that was fundamental to each of us. I am beyond grateful and honored to have shared the first and most important stage of life with every single one of you, and to have created such a special link that will hold us together for our entire lives. Thank you.
I chose the word airplane to represent the second A and the word passionate. There are puddle jumpers, commercial airliners, fighter jets, and Airbuses that will take you to where your passion leads you. You are the pilot of your own airplane. We have all been taxiing down the runway of high school together for the last 4 years, and now it's time to take flight and follow our dreams. Life after graduation is an open sky, no limits. As the pilot, you are in command of the destination and the stops you make along the way. It is okay to take some detours, but make sure to stay true to who you are and towards your own unique path. There is nobody who can do exactly what you can as well as you can. This is the beginning of the greatest adventure of our lives. Are you ready, pilots? The runway is clear for takeoff.
I have been given the letter T. T represents the word thoughtful. The New York Times reported the following story. It was the moment that thoughts of world title glory were cast aside in a powerful display of brotherly love. As two-time Olympic gold medalist Alistair Brownlee rounded the bend for the final stretch of the Triathlon World Series in Mexico, he saw his younger brother, Johnny, was in trouble. With 700 meters to go, Alistair was well positioned to take third place and begun to pick up the pace for a last push towards the finish line. The moment he saw Johnny begin to sway across the track, he was no longer a world-class sportsman. He was just a brother. Instinctively, he knew he had to help. I saw Johnny start to veer off to the side. I thought, he's not looking good. I ran towards him, grabbed him, and started dragging him towards the finish line. The brothers were just a few paces from the finish line when Alistair pulled Johnny's arm around his own neck and shoved him towards the finish line, putting his brother in second place and himself in third. Later, Alistair stated that he thought his mum wouldn't have been too happy with him if he had left Johnny behind. Let's take a moment and think of how thoughtful Alistair was in this moment in time. He could have simply ran past Johnny, finished the race in second place, then gone back to check on his little brother. Instead, he thought back to the principles that his mother had taught him throughout his life. People do not remember this race because the Brownlow brothers took second and third. They remember it because of the thoughtful and heartwarming actions that took place that day. As I look back on my years here in Kingfisher, I know there have been many times where someone did a thoughtful thing that has blessed my life. The biggest one that comes to my mind was my first day at school in Kingfisher. I was a short, chubby, and nervous new kid with no friends here in Oklahoma. I walked into 5th grade PE with Miss Buckner, and she took me aside and introduced me to some of the kids in the class. First her son Trevor, then Sam, Cole, and Haynes. She pointed the opposite corner and said, "See those tall girls over there? They're pretty cute and really nice." Those girls aren't that tall anymore, but they were Morgan, Maddie, Emily, and Jordan. After that, my new friends and I walked to join the rest of the class, and the rest is history. That simple yet thoughtful act that Miss Buckner did affected the rest of my life. Because of that, I have made some great friends and memories to last a lifetime. As our class parts ways this day, let each of us remember to be thoughtful all along the way, because who knows, you may end up changing someone's life.
I was assigned the final letter of the word passionate, the letter E, and chose the word elastic. Elastic is defined as an object or material able to resume its normal shape spontaneously after contraction, dilation, or distortion. As we move on to the next chapter in our lives, I hope each of us choose to be elastic in all of our endeavors. More than likely, we are going to be nervous as we embark on this new journey, begin making new friends, and start living on our own. We will each be forced out of our comfort zones as we become freshmen at colleges where we don't know many, if any other people, enter into the workforce, or travel to faraway places. I hope that instead of all the changes we are about to encounter scare us, we embrace them and expand our horizons. We must stretch ourselves to become the best college students, workers, and overall individuals there is. Through all the stretching that we will encounter in life, I hope that each of us are always contracted back to our roots here in Kingfisher, and are proud of both who we have become and where we came from. Fellow seniors, as we graduate today and move on to the next chapter, remember to always be passionate in everything you do, and don't forget, the more you stretch, the broader your experiences will become. Go out stretching farther than you ever thought was possible, but don't forget, just like elastic expands and contracts, it's important to remember where you came from. Thank you.
Mr. Sternberger and Board of Education, the students in the class standing before you have completed the requirements set forth by the Oklahoma State Board of Education for graduation from an Oklahoma high school, and they have also completed the requirements set forth by you, the local Board of Education. Therefore, it's my privilege to recommend them to you as graduates of Kingfisher High School.
Cassidy Marie Adams. Hayden Dean Barton. Cammie Dawn Baker. Lisa Marie Baxter. Nicholas Christopher Bradford. Brianne Michelle Grove. Benea Ajane Brown. Trevor James Buckner. Christopher Logan Carmen. Taylor Leanne Chapman. Marco Alejandro Charqueño. Efren Chavez Jr. Matthew Lane Clover. Chayton Brady Clayton. Kayla Marie Kaufman. Brittany Ann Coley. Anna Nicole Crosswhite. Caleb Michael Davis. Andrew Ryan Dethridge. Fabiola Elizabeth De Leon. Grant Dean Eaton. Preston Cole Eminger. Jacob Allen Farrell. Brant Austin Franks. Brayton Sawyer French. Vanessa Gutierrez Orozco. Brendan Zachary Haig. River Janae Harper. Anthony Taylor Harris. Dakota Joe Hart. Blaine Douglas Hauser. Byron Dale Helt. Matthew Tyler Hopkins. Joshua Ryan Howard. Scott Allen Gindra. Larissa Jasmine Karina Johnston. Kane Andrew Jones. Cade Michael Rittenbrink. Haynes Wheeler Lafferty. Caden Lee Lopez. Juan Carlos Marquez. Molly Ann McCulley. James Rowdy Meeker. Manuel Rodrigo Mendoza. Reagan Taylor Merritt. Trenton Lee Milligan. Brody Andrew Mitchell. Kyle Randall Murphy. Emily Page Murray.
Madison Jane Myers. Alondra Jacqueline Sevilla. Martin Alejandro Padilla. Felicia Marie Patton. Haley Alexandra Payne. Hannah Elizabeth Payne. Samantha Carly Pendergraft. Brian Perez. Allison Renee Phillips. Jordan K. Phillips. Alyssa Portales. Miranda Cherie Porter. Caroline Shire Powell. Selena Annie Powell. Heath Allen Price. Morgan Kate Prignitz. Sean Austin Ramirez. Teresa Rengel. Emily Jordan Rehrman. Jagger Wayne Roden. Hector Salcedo. Autumn Dawn Slabs. Stacia Emily Schroeder. Cheyenne Renee Scott. Hannah Lynn Sargent. Jacob Austin Shipley. Cole Christopher Simon. Tracy Charles Smalley. Baylor Reed Smith. Kylie Ann Smith. Stephanie Soto. Kaylee Marie Stokes. Madison Anna Stuckey. Brandy Emmeline Lottie Paso. Taylor Nicole Thompson. Jason Wade Townsend. Brayden Michael Turner. Samuel Lee Walter. Isaac Edson Walton. Brady Shane Werner. Jeremy Lloyd Wilcox. Morgan Lane Yost. Yasmin Brianna Young.
Appreciate all the family and friends that helped get this group of kids here today. I tell you, I moved here
when these kids were starting 7th grade, and you watch them develop from awkward 7th graders into the fine young men and women that you have here today. Their accomplishments are just second to none in Kingfisher, and it's just been an honor to be part of their lives and your lives. So congratulations to everybody here today. Seniors, please stand. Will you move your passport? And the Oklahoma State Department of Education, I pronounce you graduates of the Kingfisher class of 2017.
Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to gather here today. Thank you for all the blessings you provided that we take for granted each and every day. Please continue to lead us and guide these students and myself as we graduate high school, and please be with us as we live our life to help continue to live for your glory. Thank you for what you've done for us and for loving us. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.